Michaels, her latest attacks on semaglutide and other ways to lose weight without using her expertise or buying her books. So there's a lot of articles going around about her sort of attacking semaglutide. She's even got a couple videos on it. I just wanted to dive into that. So when you look at it, the basis of her argument is that it's unsafe, doesn't work, I think, and that you should just stick to good old-fashioned exercise and diet. So here's a video. We might have to go to your Instagram to look at this, but there's a video and then there's a podcast snippet we'll listen to. Let's listen to this first.
So there's a diet, kidney damage, blindness, nerve problems, loss of limbs, sexual function problems, on and on and on. We all know type 2 diabetes is a really dangerous thing, right? Bad for you, extremely dangerous. So, all right. Let me just tell you that I do not judge you. I want you to do whatever it takes to get healthy. But if I could make you aware of some of the dangers or even downsides to things like this and encourage you to try without it, then I will do so. So first of all, let's look at the...
So she wants you to try to cure type 2 diabetes without this drug, and she also wants you to cure morbid obesity without this drug. Let's just be clear on that. This isn't for someone that looks like her.
Game-changing effects of this drug. Now remember that it's used with proper diet and exercise, right? So in total, adults on, this is from MedPage Today, adults on semaglutide treatment lost an average of 33.7 pounds by week 68. That means that this game-changing drug took less than half of a pound off of people, okay? Over 68 weeks, half of a pound, less than half of a pound.
So she wants you to lose it quicker. So it's a waste of money unless you lose fat super quick, because that's healthy.
And they're supposedly eating right. And
let me just add, if you're losing weights like way quicker than that, like she says, chances are that person's going to put it on quicker later on. And it's not like... a 150-pound girl loses 15 pounds and then she puts it back on. We're talking about the morbid obese here, like 300, 400, 500-pound people is what we're talking about, or people with serious diabetic issues.
And working out, which is debatable, because if you were doing those two things, you would get better results than a half a pound a week.
All right, so here's the first thing. So in this video and then this podcast clip, she's reading from articles on New York Times, and then I forgot the other one she's reading from, and she keeps reading from these articles that are just sort of talking about the study itself that she's referring to. Now, the New York Times is referring to this study right here. So she said just now, if you did exercise and diet, that's all you need to do. So the placebo group, there's two groups in this study, right? You have one group that uses semaglutide and the other group that doesn't. They're just given a placebos and they inject something and they don't know whether it's that or not. Both of these groups have lifestyle intervention, as in they're doing diet and exercise. I don't think it goes into exactly how much, but it is controlled, okay? And it's almost 2,000 people. Let's keep that in mind too. So both groups are exercising and eating healthy. Lifestyle intervention is quote what they call it. So they're already doing that. So her argument is, she didn't even look at this before she made this video. And I'm sure I'm not the first person to point this out. But both are doing it. One has a placebo, one has semaglutide. The one with semaglutide lost more weight than the other one. So as in, they both lost weight from exercise and diet. Then the one with semaglutide went even farther down and lost even more weight, okay? So let's listen to a little bit from this podcast she's got too.
A demon is going to rear its ugly head, or not even fixed. We don't have the tools to understand it and do battle with it in the way that you will need. So I think that is the most important.
All right, so we do have the tools to fight obesity, semaglutide being one, but we do understand the mechanism of what is causing overeating. Yeah, she's right. It is all mental, but she wants you to use her tools when in fact those are the tools that are not working. It's not that they can't work. They can work. Obviously, eating less calories is how it's going to work. Move more and eat less. But that's not the root cause of the issue here.
Peace. Now, these people love to say, oh, diets don't work. Yes, they fucking do work. Eat less, move more. The reason that people are struggling with it is because of the psychology. They're having a hard time eating less and moving more. It's not because eating less and moving more doesn't work. So this new
Again, like the whole reason that obesity, the curve of obesity is going up in the world, especially here in America, it's not sugar. It's not the overeating of sugar. Sugar consumption has leveled off. It's not the fats. It's not the bad fats. All this stuff, those contribute, but it's the overeating. See, as Americans, we're moving less and we're eating more due to our lifestyle. So it's not necessarily that we're eating a lot more sugar. The caloric output is what's really changed the most with most people.
drug, right, comes out and oh man, it's in the New York Times. Ready for this? A game changer. Man, that's a sexy promise, right? A game-changing drug brings weight loss in patients with obesity. Why is diet and exercise not a game changer? Because it's not on trend anymore. It's not politically correct. In a clinical trial,
That is a game changer, but we've known that for like 70 years. It's been like more than obvious with meta-analysis and studies for 50, 60, 70 years. We know that will fix the problem, but people won't do it. And they won't do it. Like, how many more years do you have to wait to understand that people aren't going to do it?
participants taking semaglutide.
Most people pronounce it semaglutide. If you listen to videos of the original researchers, they pronounce it semaglutide.
Thank you. Lost 15% of their body weight on average. Okay. They go on to say nearly 2,000 participants at 129 centers.
Let me point this out again. She's reading this directly from the New York Times that she said, not the study. Who knows if she even looked into that? She's looking directly at the New York Times.
In 16 countries injected themselves weekly with semaglutide or a placebo for 68 weeks. Those who got the drug lost close to 15% of their body weight on average compared to the 2.4% among those receiving the placebo. 68 weeks, by the way. That's let's do the math on this, okay? That's well over a year. Now,
it's 1.3.
15% of their body weight. Let's say I'm a woman and I'm 25 pounds. Or I'm sorry, I'm 250 pounds. Sorry. I'm 250 pounds. Okay, so 15% of my body weight, 10% is 25 pounds. Half of that, I lost 30-something pounds.
Like, why is it's 37 pounds.
Year and a half?
You can do that in your head.
You've been injecting your...
And it's not a year and a half, it's 1.3. There's a pretty big difference between 33% and 50%.
...self weekly for a year and change? Whereas if we eat right and we move, we could take 37 pounds off of you in a fraction of that time frame. And you'll be much, much healthier from eating right and moving more. Not eating shit, but taking your drug.
When you take this drug, you eat less shit, period. Like, that's how it works.
Okay? So that promise isn't even that sexy at all. It's not that much considering the overwhelmingly long time frame. 68 weeks. It's not 6 to 8 weeks. 68 weeks. Okay?
I'll just tell you from anecdotal reports for myself, my clients, family and friends, people on forums, any kind of groups that I'm in, you lose a ridiculous amount of weight if you're exercising and dieting. Like if you hired her as a trainer and you took semaglutide, you would have unbelievable weight loss. And like for me, just the way I train, it was absolutely insane. I've never taken anything this crazy before in my life because you literally just don't eat. Like, you just don't eat.
Symptoms of their diabetes and pre-diabetes improved in many patients.
Okay, so...
I can get you, and I have.
All right, so here she's going to claim she's going to cure type 2 diabetes.
Off of type 2 diabetes medication. Now, I'm not trying to make false claims. I'll just say this. In my work with overweight patients, which has been evidenced on international television shows.
All right, so we should believe international television shows instead of studies. Now, she's reading this from the New York Times, but if you go to the study itself, what is many patients? Let's see, what is many patients? Let's see if I still have this highlighted here. 84%. 84%. That is huge. Like... why would she just gloss over that and not even bring up that percentage? That's right, because you should try to do it with her. So, look, if you want to know a little bit more about semaglutide, this video is getting a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. lowers blood glucose levels by stimulating the release of insulin in the pancreas, reduces the amount of glucose that your liver is producing, and then it can cause you to feel full, so it increases early satiety. So that's the big one, is that for someone that doesn't have diabetes like myself, it slows gastric emptying. So that's the thing. You don't use the bathroom on it nearly as much as you think. It's like, I'm not going to go into the specifics, but it's not much. Like, you just don't eat. Like, that's essentially how it works for someone, like I said, does not have diabetes. It works that way for people with diabetes as well, but for me, with someone with a functioning pancreas, I don't have any kind of blood sugar issues. You take this and you just don't want to eat. And like, I'm talking, you can force feed protein if you want. You can force feed cookies. Like, cookies, I never turn down cookies. Semaglutide, I don't even think about cookies. So like, it works. And there's so many meta-analysis on this stuff for not even people with diabetes, just for being overweight and, you know, being obese. Like, this will cure obesity in America when the price is right. But until we get there, people like Jillian Michaels and people that have a stake in other things are going to be fighting this so hard, because once this gets to everyone and it becomes more accessible, their financial gain is done. This whole diet and exercise and all this stuff, it's done. And like, you can go to Amazon and see the supplements that she's backed with. Okay, so she owns part of this brand, if not a majority stake in that. Walmart, she's got this ridiculous fat burner. So I guess this is a better idea than semaglutide. Like, are you kidding me? 4 capsules a day. This is stupid. This lasts 12 days, and you're basically paying for just coffee bean extract. Again, you'll see that in a lot of stuff. That's ridiculous. What else has she got? Walmart. So if you look up Jillian Michaels, I mean, look how many books she's got just on Walmart. This is crazy. And I've looked at some of these, and some of them are a little bit ridiculous, if I do say so. And like Amazon. And like, yeah, this is, honestly, she's not stupid. Like, she knows that semaglutide works, and she knows if it works that well, it's going to take away from her business. I'm sure in the past, she mentions phentermine at one point. When things come up like this, her, you know, gross income goes down. So like, if something works, she doesn't get as much money. So like, she's got all this stuff. I know some of this stuff is old, but she's constantly pushing stuff out and reinventing herself for what works. And like, if you go to her website, it tells you everything that she's invested in. I mean, she's got a fitness app. Those are huge right now. She's invested in Thrive Market. She's invested in Lucky Jack Coffee. All this stuff is like health-centered stuff. Then she's invested in this stupid-ass water. Do not pay $30 for 4 gallons of water because it's alkalized. That's like a video in itself, but that's one of the dumbest things you can possibly do. Don't do that. Then here's her main company. And like, these honestly aren't like terribly priced and terrible supplements, but like, she's pushing that you need these to be healthy and lose weight. That's sort of like the whole deal with this stuff. And then the big one, you can buy them on subscription, 3 months supply. So like, look, like, she's not stupid. She knows that semaglutide probably works. And like, maybe she is stupid, I don't know. But like, if you actually take some time and look at these studies, like, I promise you, you can say that I'm stupid, that I'm not taking into account the side effects, whatever you want. But I promise you, within the next decade to 15 years, GLP1 agonists, they are going to cure diabetes for a lot of people. And they're going to cure obesity for anyone that takes it. Like, it's not like you take it and you still stay hungry. It's going to work for anyone. And it might be dose dependent for someone that's 600 pounds. I don't know. But like, this is going to cure it. I promise you. I have yet to meet someone that's taken it and it does not work. And like, sometimes they do have to up the dose. But here's the thing. She does claim in a lot of these that once you come off of it, it stops working. That's completely true. This is not a drug you just take and it fixes the problem entirely and then you're done with it. For someone like me, you would take it when you need it. For someone that's got diabetes or someone that's completely overweight, it's something you're going to want to take your whole life, if not most of your life, in a safe dose and be monitored by a doctor. And like, it'll work. That's all you got to do. It's going to be smart to do things like she suggests, like proper exercise and diet along the way, fixing your psychology and lifestyle, figuring out what the problem is. Because I promise, when you take semaglutide and you're not craving all these foods and you're not eating them, it's going to become evident real quick where those extra calories are coming from, where that laziness is coming from. Because if you're not eating the food and you're just sitting there on the couch, you're going to be wondering, why am I just sitting on the couch? Why am I not doing something right now? And you're like, oh, well, I always do this. Well, you're always being lazy. Same thing with the food. You're going to be not hungry, but then maybe you're around family members that maybe they're overweight too. Maybe their lifestyle is sort of flooding over into yours, and it's causing you to be overweight. And then you find yourself turning down food, and it's like, why am I turning down food at all these places when I shouldn't be eating it in the first place? So like, it does take some things to change mentally that could help you down the road, that maybe you don't need it the rest of your life if you're obese. Maybe you fix the problem, and along the way, you can make some lifestyle choices that are better. But I promise you, this video is to point out the fact that people like her, and she's getting ahead of the curve on this. Like, she is really attacking this more than anyone. But I promise you, this is going to be a huge thing in 2023, is people attacking semaglutide and all these other GLP1s that come out. Some of them aren't even injectable. You can take them orally. They're going to be attacking this hard, because this is going to cut into their money big time, like huge. So don't believe that crap. It works, I promise. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, or if you disagree with me. If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear why, and like, show me something in a study that makes you really not want to take it. And I feel like I might try to talk you into it, if I'm being quite honest, but like, anecdotally, I would love to hear if some of you guys have tried it. If you've tried it and it's not worked, let's try to figure out why it didn't work. How about that? Like and subscribe if this was a little bit interesting to you. Thanks.